Well, hello, I'm Rosalind Owen. If you've never seen me before, hi. If you haven't been on my Facebook page, you're very welcome to go there. But it's Easter Sunday and we're in this crazy season of COVID-19 where life has turned upside down for us all very, very quickly. And I remember when that happened to me in a season of my life, and I had three young children. 6, 4, and I think 3 was our children when my husband got headhunted, and we found ourselves within a month's time in Detroit, Michigan. We had sold our house, packed our house, pulled our child out of school and landed in Detroit, Michigan, and went from a beautiful spring in Melbourne to the fall and then a really cold, snowy winter in Detroit. And talk about shock. Completely changed my world upside down, completely. And I've been thinking about that and the analogy of what it's like now when life has turned upside down for so many families. And my passion is to help every family that I possibly could. And I know I can't reach them all, but I thought I just would tell you my story and see if it doesn't help you. And I know that when I relocated to Detroit, we had someone who was there to help us find our new home, a lovely lady called Stephanie. And I was talking to Stephanie as she was showing me around houses and trying to find our new family home. And she told me in a very beautiful, sincere way, saying, Rosalind, don't worry about getting your kids into school and that they're missing school. They'll catch up. But do you think I could hear that? Really? I couldn't. I just couldn't. I think I was too concerned about, I don't know, my kids missing out, my kids not having connections, didn't want them to lag behind, or thinking that I was an incompetent mother who couldn't manage all of these things as well. Not really sure why, but I really couldn't hear the wisdom that was being offered to me at that time. And in hindsight, I wish I could have. Now that I've been down the stretch of having all my kids educated, and here they are, they've all grown up. That's my 3 tribe, and they all succeeded as well, and all did schooling in very different ways. So if I could talk to my young self again, and if I could talk to you again, and would you give me permission to say, hey, with this crazy situation, if you're not a homeschooler, don't worry about stressing about schoolwork at home in this season, particularly for those kids who are in primary school. They will catch up. Do what you can. Reading and writing is fantastic, but why don't you really focus on learning at home? Because kids who get a love of learning and discovering things in all sorts of ways is far more valuable than doing a worksheet that is assigned by the school. Not that I'm saying that what the kids what the school's offering is not helpful. It is. But if it's causing stress and causing you to worry, then it's not worth it. Or if it's causing a tension between you and your child, it may not be worth it. Because really your kids need a parent more than they need another teacher. And don't get your relationship all confused with your kids, that suddenly you're a parent or a teacher or a friend. Remain the parent. You're the only one who can parent them, and you are the one for the job of parenting. Second thing I'd really like to suggest is, what do you do to manage the school's expectations? Well, it's a whole new learning curve that was my mouse dropping, a learning curve for all the schools and the teachers as well. So try and do your best and honour what they're trying to do, but just tell them you really need to manage your home and keep a peaceful, loving home. That's your priority in this season, and not to turn it into a military school or anything like that. I think the other bit of advice, if I could tell myself as a young mum way back there, was the importance of my own mental health. You see, I have had challenges like most parents around mental health issues in days gone by, when I created far too much change in 1 year and really caused me to come unstuck. And then having children again, I noticed the mental difficulty that I had with even postnatal depression, and that was incredibly challenging. So I became aware of my own mental health and how important it was for me in that difficult time to guard my own mental health. And I did that by a few different ways. One is I got familiar with the patterns of thoughts that started to come in, and I saw them as a road sign, and I made sure they came in and went out as quickly as possible. and I didn't stay on them, I didn't park on them, and I didn't mull them over and over again. The second thing I did is I tried to find joy of being with my kids in the situation I was in. I didn't wait just for my husband to get home and relieve me and think, oh, I could have a night off, although that was really nice sometimes. But I tried to find joy in the midst of my situation with my children, rather than it feeling like it was a chore. And then, of course, the third thing I did was, because I have a faith in Jesus Christ, is I pushed in to being close to him and relying upon him to help me and lead me and guide me through this time as well. So that's my tips. I'm going to pop in some more videos from time to time about some other thoughts about how do we keep well in these extreme situations as families, that might just prompt you to hear from someone a little bit older, but also has been through some challenges as well, and some situations where I felt completely isolated when I moved to another country. I just pray that there'll be peace in your home and in your heart and in your mind.